Okay, I sent you a file. To use it, you'll need to go ahead and go get ProScan. You can use it free for 30 days. You get that over at proscan.org, just like I have up here. Come down here where it says download ProScan 12.12. As you can see, it runs 30 days, fully functional. So go ahead and download it. It's a small file. It's 4.3 megs big. It should go to your downloads folder. Go ahead and extract that whatever way you have. I have 7-zip, but you can use Windows Explorer. Just have it open it. Go ahead and install it, so you'll double click on it. It may come up with this. Say yes, and you can just go right on through here and hit next. Next. I do recommend put a desktop shortcut up, but I've already got it. Go ahead and hit launch when you're done, so it'll pop up. Like I said, I've already got it installed, and it's running already. Once it's installed, it'll look like this. Come up here to the top where it says, I shouldn't say it'll look like this. Let me use a fresh install. I have a fresh install that I haven't used. Let's go ProScan. It's going to come up here like this. I'd come to scanner type, drop it down to BC436. Be okay. I changed that look of it. You don't have a COM port or anything to worry about there. But at that point, you're going to use this favorites editor. And since I already have it installed, I'm going to show you that from there. So you're going to hit favorites editor. And that pops this up. You can see I have a lot of systems in mine. Doesn't mean I'm scanning them all, but they're there if I want to just click them in. I do use a GPS with this, so this automatically does that if you have location on. If you don't, let me just hit collapse tree. That'll collapse them all. You don't, that's fine. So there it is. But what we're going to do, since you have the full file, I have sent you a file, you need to go ahead and rename that file because I had to name it Zap. So, let me do this here real quick. So, when you download that from me, it was named Zap. You'll need to right click, rename that to Zip, I believe. You'll have to. Say yes, and then you'll use whatever way you have to extract that. There's Kim. I named it your username there. So what you'll do after you have that renamed and extracted, you'll come up here to File in the favorites editor, open, come on down to here to downloads. That's where you have it open. There's your name of your folder. Hit OK, and there it is. That's the file I created for you. It's just post 1. I did come in here and edited a lot of the post 1 transmitter. Basically, they only have 2 channels. All the sites here are just different antenna locations. They all retransmit the same info on different frequencies, but there's only 2 channels, A and B. B is the main channel. You think that's a little backwards, but I guess that's Kentucky. But anyway, you have your A and B. I put the closest towers to Benton. I don't really know where you're at, but I seen your form. It says you're from Benton, so I put in the closest towers surrounding that. The less frequencies we scan, the faster it'll make a loop, so the less transmissions you'll miss. These are the statewide frequencies. Air to ground in case they're, doing the bear in the air thing. Tactical, that's if you're only going to hear that if they're really close. Same thing with the mobile extenders. You'll know that they're real close. Car to car, real close. But anyway, so those will all come up under group one. So you'd hit one, then enter, and then it'll scan that once we have it set. McCrack in public, I saw that you only wanted the emergency stuff, so that's what I did. I didn't put any of the fire in there. That's the sheriff stuff. And the Paducah, only put in the police. I got rid of the public works and all that other crap. I may have one or two extra things in there because I don't know the system completely. So this common channel, I don't know if that's a police channel or whatever, but I'd rather be in there and have one extra thing that you could just lock out. It'd be easy enough. But anyway, to scan that one, that's your favorite key three. And that's two. That's one. So we only have three groups in there, but you can put all kinds of groups in there. In fact, if I wanted to add something now, I'd come up here, File, I'd import it, and since I have an account, I go right to radio reference and say if I wanted to add in fact, I'm going to add in, you can use it if you want or not. I'll put in Marshall. So I'm going to say import. Well, no, I'm sorry, Marshall. I'm going to get the system. It's going to be the public safety. I'm going to say get the data. And I know we don't want that. That's business. Emergency management. That's pretty good to have, but I'm going to take that out. Just knowing what you said, you don't want any fire and EMS. So it's just going to be all your local law enforcement. So I'm going to say import. It's going to say, hey, where do you want to put that? Do you want to put that under one of these other three favorite lists we had? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say a new favorite list. Okay. Close. And you can see that imported that. Yet I don't have a favorite key yet on there. Favorite list name. I can name this whatever I want. So I'll name that Marshall County. And I can say, police. Whatever you want. Maybe I'll just name that what the other one is, public. So anyway, I'm not going to put a location control because you wouldn't be able to hear that unless you're in that radius. So we don't want that. We want to be able to just directly turn it on and off. So we'd come in here and we're going to give that a number 4 and the number tag. And I don't know which one of these, if it's that. I believe it's this first one is the FQK. That makes sense. But anyway, I name them both the same thing because it don't matter. You have 99 of these things that you can work with, and then under each of them you can make sub list, but that's not important because what you want to do. So that's that. That's in there. So now we see it's got 4. And I will email this to you. So now that we've done that, I want to write this to the scanner, to your SD card, really. So I'm going to go scanner write. Well, nothing comes up because the scanner's running in the background. I have to turn my scanner off. And with the cable plugged into the side of it, I turn it on. It's going to come on here. And I'm going to hit E because it's going to ask me, do you want to use it as a serial port or a mass storage device? I think that's what it says. And I got to turn it on first. Hang on just a moment. I know you can't see this, but I'm doing it off the screen. And I got to wait for it to load since I've got a big list. So I'm going to hit E for the mass storage. And now if I hit refresh, it should start to see this come up here in a second. There it is. So I'm going to hit OK. That's going to write that. Once that's done writing that, I'm going to eject it You really don't have to, but I just feel better about doing that. I turn my scanner off. I'm going to turn it back on. And now I'm going to hit the period because I'm using this as a serial device. You don't have to do this, but I'm doing this so that way I can show you what it's going to show on ProScan. So right now it says there's nothing to scan. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit your menu button and you're going to set scan selection. So I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to select list to monitor. So I'm going to go down there. I'm going to hit enter and you can see the list that we have. We don't want to turn that full database on because you'll be listening to way too much. Search with scan, we're not going to do that. We're going to just turn this one on. We're going to turn all these on. On. Okay, now that these whole systems are on, we're still not going to scan them. So we're going to because we haven't actually told that to turn that on. It's just going to be loading the database basically. So if you hit your avoid button, that gets you right back out to your main scanner. And it does say we're scanning 3, but probably because I was already in this file. But now you can hit 1, enter. That'll turn that file on. That's that's KSP. Hit 2. That'll turn that list on. You can see them corresponding up here at the top. 3. I'll turn on 4. That'll be Marshall. So there they are. And Marshall would be talking. Anyway, that's that. I don't know what it's getting there. I've got the volume turned all the way down. Let me turn it up here. Sometimes it's just easier to reach over to the scanner and turn that up. Anyway, I don't have the audio being piped into this video, but you may be able to hear it in the background. But anyway, that's that. That is how to do that. Hopefully that'll help you get going.